What's up, guys? Zeenigami here, and let's go through Conquest Purple Barney. His real name is Purinpu, Barney Demon Fight. So you go over there, you click on the Event World Conquest button. Don't forget that there are daily limits to some of the shop items. There's a daily limit on most of these special ones, so you're limited to 5 per day on these materials that you're going to use to level up your cosmetics. Yes, that's a whole new whale thing they're introducing. You can level up your cosmetics to get more stats on those. Also are limited on the number of hammers, anvils, and the SSR pendant on the second page, so make sure you guys are picking those up slowly while you go through each day. And the furniture you only can buy one time. You also don't have to go too ham on this conquest too early, since there is also going to be a new material that comes out later, just like on the last event fight. So you're going to have to do at least 1 or 2 more runs of this in order to get the new stuff. So don't go too crazy early on. You don't need to buy out this shop right away. Save a few fights for later on, since you're going to have to get more of those new materials. So for the extreme version of this fight, some people like to do this on hards, that way they can do it a little bit faster. The extreme version with the right team is actually pretty easy. You can just auto battle this fight with a decent team. If you're using a team with a Valenti, I like to use Red Liz in the back line to be super safe with that. But he is a blue character, so we're going to be using a primarily green team, with green Escanor being a large portion of our damage. Green Jericho is also great for damage here. I've seen mixed success with Derriere, but there is a chance that he removes your buffs, so be careful with Derriere. There are 3 different modes for this guy, but you're primarily going to see 2 of them. The main mode here is the pink icon, and the you punched me a lot mode with the orange icon. You're only going to go over to the purple icon mode if you don't do enough damage to him while he's in the pink mode. So he's going to be swapping between stances every 3 turns. It's not really a stance since you can't cancel it, but he's going to be swapping between these 3 different modes every 3 turns. But you're probably going to see these 2 unless you're just not dealing damage to him while he's in pink, in which case we'll go to purple. Most of these stages he's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to be laser beaming one person. He's going to be smacking and swiping everybody. The swipe fills his ult gauge, so gets him more ult level. The laser beam depletes your ult gauge on the main stage, and he also is going to disable recovery skills. That one doesn't matter. That's what he's going to do every 2 turns. His passives, nothing of note down here. The passives just say that he's going to remove a debuff at the start of his turn every time. And he's also immune to health reducing and corrosive effects. So no demon melee corrosive to get some cheesy damage in. And no using like bond to try to reduce his health. Other than that, you can use freezes, disables, whatever, but all those will get removed. So if you try to freeze him, they will be removed by the time it's his turn. When he's in his orange mode, his ultimate works like Hauser or Lilia, where they'll D-rank your skills and remove ult gauge based off of that, but it doesn't do as much damage. When he's in his pink mode, his ult is going to do weak point damage, which can deal quite a bit of damage. So be very careful if you have debuffs on. That weak point ult is going to hurt a lot, so you might want to bring someone like Merlin to stop him from ulting in the pink phase. If he's in orange phase, you can let him ult. It's not going to hurt nearly at all as much. It's actually pretty weak in the orange phase. You just have to be that you have to be conscious that that will reduce your ult gauge. In the orange phase, he also ult seals or ult gauge. He stops you from filling up your ult gauge for 1 turn every few turns. He still does his swipe, reduces your defense-related stats, and also gets rid of stances, which we're not really bringing anyone who does stances anyways. He also has a detonate on his single target attack, and that's those 2 main ones. And the only thing that drops in this fight are materials, so get your materials and good to go. Let's invite everybody that we can. All these dudes and all these dudes. While they're getting in, let's look at my team. This is the team that I'm using right now: Escanor, Jericho, and Valenti. Valenti is great for this fight. She reduces so much damage with So Valenti and Escanor are actually patiencing most of the attacks. Jericho's the only one that's actually taking damage. But Jericho has significantly less defense and health as the other two, and the AI on this one seems like it definitely wants to attack the person that's weakest, so it really likes to focus laser Jericho. I'm using Alioni in the back line for more damage. If you're having a hard time, you can use Red Liz, so that way you get automatic heals every turn, and Valenti reduces damage to the point where you're basically going to stay alive forever. You can also use resistance food, and I'm using lifesteal food right now, so that way Jericho, when she attacks, will basically heal back up to full. Valenti's ult can deal damage if it goes into the purple version, because the purple version applies a buff to himself. That's the only version that has a buff. Otherwise, Valenti is just here for the passive. We're never going to want to try to get Valenti's ult. We're going to focus on Escanor and Jericho ults. But the fight's very simple, not too much to worry about. The only thing that can get you in trouble is the weak point ult on phase 1. So try and make sure your characters are high health whenever that weak point looks like it's going to be happening. I'm going to throw out all these to start building up ults on Escanor and ults on Jericho. And since he doesn't clear all of his buffs, there's just going to be one buff removed every turn. So stacking up those Escanor ignites will actually work when you get a bunch of them. And cool, saving that Escanor card paid off. If you look on the bottom right hand side of your screen, that was what has the different meters for which phase he's going to turn into. So he did a bunch of his single targets, so he got his ult gauge up real fast. Gonna go ahead and build more ult on Jericho and get Escanor ult. This left bar is, are you going to get whichever version? So if you don't push this all the way to full because you're not doing enough damage, after 3 turns, then he goes into the purple version. Otherwise, he's already here ready to go into the orange version. Wow, I got the full Valenti hand, which no one really wants. Thanks, game. Really appreciate it. So like I said, you can actually have Valenti's ult deal damage if you go into the purple version, since that version has a buffing ability. This version here doesn't have a buffing ability, so you're never gonna get Valenti's ult to actually deal damage. It's gonna be pretty weak. You can always click on the faces over here to see how much damage people are doing compared to you. My Jericho is gonna get one, but if Jericho doesn't draw cards, yeah, here we go. Come on, Jericho, hang in there a little bit. And look, people are gonna patience a ton. Yeah, Jericho, you're fine. Yeah! Valenti makes everything really, really, really easy. So get Jericho ult to full, and we're going to try to not hold on to duplicate cards or higher rank cards whenever we have our ult ready, because his ult drains, just like Hauser does. Whereas in phase 1, he just has a targeted drain that you can't really stop unless you patience or, say, Merlin shield that attack. And every 2 turns, he does the seal on ults. So there, can't gain more ults, but we're just going to pop them off anyways. So since we can't gain ults, I'm not going to use my Escanor card. I'm just going to throw these out. And the ult healer isn't gonna hurt. It's just going to be annoying. This is AoE, very weak. It's not a weak point attack. Jericho crits really, really are nice. As you can see, the damage overall is a lot lower than the Colossal World Boss, or the Colossal Giant Conquest, if you remember doing that one. Since we don't have characters that get increased damage or increased stats like the Attack on Titan characters did. Turns almost, or fight's almost over. 2 more ignites, an attack, and Escanor ult should finish it off for us. And that's the entire fight, guys. Pretty easy. If you got Valenti, it'll make it a lot easier. Oh, maybe I don't get another turn. Oh no, I don't want Valenti cards though. Valenti should just sit and not get any cards. If you are having a hard time keeping people alive, swap someone out for Merlin. So if you have Escanor, Valenti, Merlin, you absolutely... Ooh! We get another turn. Cool. Escanor, Valenti, Merlin. You can auto this fight with your eyes closed. Swap into Jericho and you can try to get a little more damage in, but if you don't get Jericho cards like I did, you might get in trouble, or use resistance food, or use red Liz to keep you alive. I've been Zeenigami, guys. Let other people know what teams you're using in the comments down below. Check me out on Twitch, where I'm playing 7 Deadly Sins every single day. And y'all stay beautiful.